Welcome everybody to some Nerdporeal news. Today, I would like to talk about George R.R. Martin's latest update on everything Westeros. He begins by talking about how quickly 2021 went, and how toxic politics are and the people and friends he's lost. By the way, rest in peace. He states that he got a lot of work done in 2021, and knows the majority of people want to hear about one particular project's completion that's been in the works since July of 2011, when the last book came out. Of course I am referring to The Winds of Winter, Book 6 of A Song of Ice and Fire, and he states, once again, that it is still not finished. Fans have been angry about this and his pace for 2 decades now, and at this point, I'm starting to feel the same way and do not think he will finish the series that made him successful in the first place. He goes on to talk about all the other projects he's been working on that is keeping him from completing Book 6, including development of additional Game of Thrones spin-offs, including one about Nymeria's 1,000 ships, an animated show about Yi based on ancient China, and one that interests me a little bit, the one about Dunk and Egg. That is a series of short stories that also takes place in Westeros but covers the adventures of Sir Duncan the Tall and his companion Egg, or also known as Aegon Targaryen, the younger brother of Maester Aemon at Castle Black on the Wall. So far, George has not completed that series either, and is going to write more of those along with the second volume of Fire and Blood, a historical chronicle covering the Targaryen kings of Westeros from Aegon the Conqueror to the Mad King. The second volume should cover the latter half of the bloodline. The problem people have with this is that George himself has stated that Winds of Winter is his top priority and he won't work on anything else until it is delivered. But he has already broken that promise by revealing this and his multiple collaborations with other writers to develop more spin-off shows that tie directly to an overall story that ends with Game of Thrones Season 8. Game of Thrones Season 8, to me, ruined the entire series and killed any investment I have in any later spin-off shows. The books, though, are a different story, because there needs to be context and reason for the events of the final season in order for me to buy into what's going on. I first read A Song of Ice and Fire at the same time I started watching Game of Thrones, and I immediately got invested in the story because of the quality of the earlier books, mainly the first 3, and the first 4 seasons of the show. It also provided a great escape for me when my father passed away in 2014, and he himself watched the TV show up to season 4, and he loved it. So it was like the last thing I watched with him. So it means a lot to me. I am not convinced George has it within himself to finish it, and uses these other projects to mask the fact that he is either not invested in the story anymore, or has become way too complex for him because of all the characters and additional viewpoints he has added in books 4 and 5, and how they're all going to come together in the end. I myself want George to finish it, and I will read it the moment it becomes available, and absolutely want to see him finish Dream of Spring, which is the final book, Book 7. But deep down, I just don't believe it's going to happen, and I'm kind of at peace with that prospect. There's a lot of other stuff out there to discover, whether it be books, video games, film, and television that can be just as compelling or even more so than A Song of Ice and Fire itself. All I can say is, I hope George realizes this and puts aside these projects so that he can clear his mind and finish A Song of Ice and Fire, because as time goes on, the prospect gets less and less likely. Thanks again for checking out this bit of Nerdporeal news. This is something that means a lot to me, and I hope I am wrong about the likeliness of the Winds of Winter release. I do want to do a future video talking about all the unresolved plot points from A Feast for Crows and A Dance with Dragons, since they originally were intended to be a single book, but it got too big. Don't forget to slay the subscribe button in red. Knock that like button and loosen your comments in the comment section so that this video will get out there to fellow fans of this series. Until George announces the completion and release date of Winds of Winter, all other words are wind. Take care.